Hello folks, Bubble here, Arcane Devices, and today we are doing a little stream on documentation, I'll explain in more detail what the idea is, but we are doing a little Rust hacking today. We're writing some Markdown, but let's set the stream properly first. Just give me a sec here. We're gonna do some screen sharing. Let's just the chat is on. Okay. Let's set up the screen capture. Okay, yeah. Looks like we're good. I want to have a little projector here, just so I know what's happening on the stream. Yeah, that should work. And let's just have this all synced up, like that. Perfect. Okay, so let's see. If you used Python before or wrote some serious Python, you might have heard about Doctests. So Doctests are basically a nice Python library. Actually, it's built into the standard library, but it's pretty much, I don't know if you can call it a pattern. It's really more of a library, but the idea is that you can put some code in the documentation, and that will basically function both as an example and as a test. So this is some inline doc strings, but you can do this with not Markdown, but REST or restructured text files, which a lot of Python documentation is in. And I kind of want to do that, but with MDBook. So MDBook is like a book writing software, which well, what it really is more like a lot more like Sphinx for Python documentation, but it's Markdown and it's much nicer. Okay, where did my OBS go? Yeah, something's wrong with that projector. Let me see. I don't know the source. I want a projector for the whole thing. Oh yeah, there it is. Stay on top. Awesome, perfect. Yeah, so this is a doc test, an MDBook. Let's see. Well, this is the project. Right, but like this is documentation for MDBook, which is itself an MDBook, right? So let's take a look at how this looks for cars, for developing. So let's see. This is the current state. So there isn't like a lot of documentation here yet. We're working on that, but like the thing I've been working on most recently is those little animations here. So what you see here is basically an SVG vector graphics file. That's being animated by some JavaScript. I actually wrote a little domain-specific language here for this purpose. that looks kind of like this. So I know, too fucking. Anyway, so you have those custom HTML elements. So AD panel is basically an element that represents this whole panel UI visualization, right? And then there is some logic that plugs into a custom element. So this is all vanilla JS and HTML. This is so-called, I think, custom elements, or whatever that's called. Yeah, web components is the name of the whole suite of standards. So there you have the custom elements, and typically they want you to use the thing called shadow DOM, which is like another thing for isolating pieces of the DOM. I'm not currently using that. It works just fine with your regular DOM. So basically you get this connected callback method and a batch of others if you want to handle stuff like changes to attributes, right? And here you can basically initialize the component however you want. So what I do is I load in the SVG into an object element, then read a bunch of attributes you can set on my element, like this sequence, for example, right? Or you can say just LEDs, right? And this, so for example, this instantiation here, this will create a visualization of a panel with just those two LEDs lit up, right? So that's this one here. Yeah, and then like the element code will do a bunch of stuff to generate the animations if that's what I want. So like here, this sequence is basically a couple of steps of an animation. So that was kind of the first step to automate a part of writing this documentation, or like at least those showing those examples. Now I want to go further with this and actually not just script some animations, but actually have those documentation embed tests for the tests that will actually run the core code itself, the same code that runs on the module. So the core code actually already has quite a bunch of tests, like both like mostly actually what you would call end-to-end tests, but like there's a couple of levels. Anyway, that's all great, but what I really want is actually have something like this. So have a piece of documentation, and inside it like embed this test code that will be actually run, and then it can. So I can first of all make an assertion here that actually after making those operations that the manual states you should do, we can check that the state is correct, and also we can get back the animation, right? So just so I don't have to repeat myself, I actually do the operations or the button presses and so on the actual controller code I have here, right? I capture those, and right, so the code will do the run the business logic, let's call it, right? Which we can verify, and at the same time we can record the operations and basically visualize them. So what I did today is actually write this little script that takes. So another cool thing with MDBook is you can have those you can have these preprocessors. So all you have to do is basically say, I have a preprocessor called Doctests that you can run like this, right? And then it will call the file. I will run the program with. So first it runs with some additional arguments to check if an output format is supported, and then it runs the preprocessor again, but it this time it just gives it a JSON, and basically a JSON dump of the entire document. It gives it on the standard input, and then grabs the output and puts that back as the document, right? So all I have to do is go through the sections here in the JSON, and for each chapter I run a little piece that basically regex matches the text and finds my tags, which I can format however I want. So right now I just put in those curly braces here, and inside them I have a bit of Rust code. Then I have the Rust code written to a file. Since it's Rust, we have to compile it. Yeah, and I was looking today at a quick way to build this in the right context. And so far I did it in a little bit hacky way, perhaps, but I don't know, it kind of makes sense to me. So I just put it in the examples directory in the crate, in the Rust crate. I have the KRS core, which has the core quote unquote business logic. Yeah, and this way basically all the snippets I have in the documentation will end up as examples here. Then I tell cargo to run them, grab the output, and yeah, put that back into the document. So yeah, now the idea is that the Rust code, those examples should give me back markdown, or in this case piece of HTML I put into my markdown that will end up in the final document. And what I specifically want to generate is, again, I want to make this panel, this panel visualizer, right? And the way this is done right now is I just again generate this AD-panel element. All right. So yeah, now that this works, yeah, I want to basically add some logic to actually capture what's happening. Unfortunately, that should be pretty easy. I think we have all the pieces we need. And the way I want this to look right now, I think I would be like the best for this case is just do everything the way like the other tests do. So for example, I would do, unfortunately the autocomplete doesn't work in here obviously, but yeah, let's guess. Let's try to remember my API. Yeah, I think there was a button down, something like that. Yeah, so basically I only have this UI recorder thing, which will record, as the name suggests, the state of the UI, and every time I call this snap method, right? And this will give me my, let's call them frames of the animation, right? And finally, when I do my print HTML, that should print out the stuff it's stored. Okay, let's go back to our controller again. And what was the button thing? Button pressed. Okay, that's what I want. Button pressed. And this is a piece of documentation for setting the loop length, or specifically for the number of pages for the loops. So we're gonna press the no, we're just gonna press the loop button first. Button should be the argument. Oh yeah, and this is there's another problem with this, namely I still have the old button layout coded here, so we're gonna need to start making changes on that. And by old, I mean the button layout that's on the current prototype version of the board. For the new board with the tactile buttons, we actually changed or moved stuff around, changed some labels, and that will need to be reflected here in our input data structures. Okay, that's should be fine. Should be simple enough. Okay, first let's make sure we actually have the button enum. Yeah, and it's trying to build. That's good. Oh yeah, and by the way, the MD book will actually rebuild everything when the files changed, which is another cool bit. Yeah, that's what we expected, right? We don't have the loop yet. Now the question is, do we just rip out all of this stuff and start rewriting? And yeah, I suppose the answer should be yes, although this will break a lot of stuff, unfortunately. But alright, I guess we're gonna have to do it anyway, so let's go there. I'm gonna use this as the reference because I don't have the boards in hand yet. They are still in manufacturing, by the way. But we'll have them soon enough. Let's just set it up so you can see everything. Okay, so those stay as they are. Then we get clear. Then recall. Save. Scale. Loop. Divide. Step. Prior and next. Alternative. And home finally. Now, home will be a little bit different than all the other buttons. So it remains kind of to be determined if we should keep it here or maybe treat it completely differently. But let's keep it here for now. And by being different, I mean, well, first of all, it will always be a fixed function, and regardless of the whatever mode we're in. Then you'll be able to do some combos using the home button, which is not something I'm planning for the other buttons right now. And yeah, whatever. Let's roll with that. Yeah, so then I've got my translation from the index. This right? Yeah, so there is a bunch of stuff that needs to be escaped in those regexes, and of course I never know for sure which. Especially since I have my VI configured differently. So yeah, there we go. Right, and then we have a bazillion of errors because we match on those buttons in quite a few places. Right. Oh yeah, we changed from consecutive to next. Just, you know, consecutive was a little bit extra. Oh yeah, a bunch of those. I guess we could search and replace here. Or should I abuse the VS Code a little bit? Oh yeah, those need button, don't they? Use button star. there. So what I can do is actually go back to consecutive here, and and then to rename the refactoring tools, or like the LSP, rename thingy. Okay, so we don't have an assign, we have a clear now instead, which this has been before anyway. This is called scale. Here we have a loop instead. What else? Home is not covered, right? So that's gonna be a to-do for now. Yeah, that's actually supposed to be range, because it's an alternative function for loop. That's a clear. What else? Yeah, that's supposed to be clear too. Actually, this we could have also batch renamed with that, LSP thingy. That's alternative for loop. Again, same thing here. Same thing here. Same thing here. Why is it my repeat action not working? What's that? Scan. Wait. No, that's not loop. That's not loop. That's supposed to be scale here. Come on. What are we even doing? That's a clear. And that was what? Oh, that was supposed to be loop. All right. We're good here. And then it's also a clear. Okay, I think we are good here. Let's see about this example now. Okay, it ran. That's good. So it did generate the clean output. We fixed our buttons. Let's get back to the example here and continue with our UI recorder. Okay, let's go to controller So inside my controller module, I have this little harness thing, which is basically for testing the controller, a bunch of test wrappers. We could probably move this out. This module is getting a little bit too big. So basically want for each frame a capture of the input state and the LEDs, which are already reflected in state here. Let's see. Input state has the buttons. Not really. Actually, those are for the touch buttons, which we don't actually have anymore. There's this slider position, which we will need probably. We don't need to add something for button states though. I suppose that will go into input state. Yeah. Then, wait, the LEDs aren't actually in state, they are here in the controller. Yeah, holds the LED levels, which is probably what we want. So we can just store this directly. Now, the harness, is it configured for test only? Not really. See, the thing is, I'm thinking if I can use like if I can use STD features here, because the controller itself is no STD. I probably can mark this as CFG test. That will break the examples wanted. Yeah, exactly. Or wait, why is this? I see. Yeah, there is the emulated thingy for the host 2 module emulator thingy, which is a different topic. I'm not gonna touch on that here now. Yeah, anyway, perhaps I can just use the noSTD vector, which we do use in a couple of places. I mean, where was it? Oh yeah, Heapless. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah. So we can use this Heapless vec, which is just vectoring in a constant space, pretty much. And that should do. It's not ideal, but whatever. Unless I pull this UI recorder out and make it CFG test. Is there a CFG example? CFG test. Let's see. So this is about tests only. Let's not worry about it yet. So I'm gonna frames, and it's gonna be hipless vector of UI frame, I suppose. And then we need to have the space specified, which we can make this large. That shouldn't hurt. How do I make this go away? I don't care about the override. Oh yeah, and we need to have a UI frame. So yeah, we need the LEDs and the buttons and the touch. So I guess the input state. What was in input update? Yeah, no, that's not gonna do us any good. Okay, so we're good here. And in Snap, we're just gonna make a new frame. And do we want to use the gamma corrected ones or just regular LEDs? Let's go with just LEDs. Does it need a clone? Yeah, maybe. This should do, hopefully. Oh yeah, a clone is too. Yeah, and we can unwrap just in case we run out of space. What? What? Okay, sure, why not? We can implement debug. No fault in that. Okay, now we're good, I think. Let's just make sure we also capture the buttons. So our input state is going to have buttons. And there is 17 of them. Let's call this button count. Okay, so there's the touch down thing. That's not gonna be useful anymore. Would I use this? Just here? Okay, so we can just... Hopefully we can remove it, can we? Let's see what breaks. So this is gonna be gone, definitely. how did I convert it to a number? Because I know I did. Or did I? Or did I? Huh. I guess not. So there is a from index and an iter. And I thought it had a wrapper. Interesting. So should I just give it a wrapper? What should it be? U8 or C? Will that work? Oh shit. How is the stream doing? Sure, I can just make it to index. I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't want to use wrapper because I wanted this to, well, basically be compatible across systems or serializable or whatever. I think. Honestly, I don't even remember. But there was an issue with wrapper, I'm pretty sure. So I could just make this a map or a set of the buttons. That doesn't sound very efficient, does it? And oh, I also had this thing here. Okay, I use this for the slider, so it's fine. Let's do 16. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do it the stupid way. Whatever. It's copy, so I don't even have to take a reference, although I probably should. something like that, I guess. Nice. So where were we? Mhm. Nice. Okay, so we captured the buttons, we captured the LEDs. Now let's go to our UI recorder and actually print those out. That's just some local doggies. Okay, so we're gonna have a sequence, and inside this sequence will go, not format, will go the steps. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna, I guess, without frames, iter. What do I call this? An HTML. So what I want to output is actually the SL that goes into here, right? So I want to output something in this format, which I then parse in my panel component in JavaScript. Just wanna see what's the chat doing. Much happening yet. Someone did come over, so pretty cool. All right. So naming again. I guess. Now, is there a join in here? Wait, is that real? What? Didn't we close? Also, we broke a bunch of stuff. Yeah, okay, I get it, but where? Ah, here, of course. Formal argument must be a string literal. Well, it is, isn't it? No, I don't think I'm missing a string. It's right here. Do you not like my escape sequences or what? That's not those either. Is there like a row string thingy? Come on. What am I missing? Why don't you like my string? Is this good? Oh, wait. I don't need a format, I'm already... Oh, man. Yeah, sure, of course. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't need a format. Yeah, too much JS. It's breaking my brain. No, this is supposed to be missing. That's fine. See, I have still a couple things broken here. This we don't really have anymore, so actually I'm gonna remove this method too. This was basically for highlighting when you are touching the touch thingy. The LED lit up slightly to show you, to give you some feedback. That's not a thing anymore, because we don't have touch buttons anymore. And that wasn't consistent anyway here in the code base. Yeah, that is gone. Okay, now it should be clean. So let's implement our format. Right. And this is gonna be broken with no STD also. Yeah, I think I'll just move this out of here. For now, for documentation generation purposes, this should build at least. Okay, and we don't have a join, don't we? Join is available on an array. or a slice rather. So I probably need to collect. It's a pity I can't do it with an iterator though. Yeah. Now I want to output LEDs and buttons like here again, right? Something like that for each of the animation frames. So yeah, but I want to output those only if any are set. So I suppose I don't have to. Oh yeah, I know how we can do it in a smart way, I think. Alright. And I've got an annoying fly here. It's gonna have debug only, doesn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Can we derive a display from an enum? Does it display anything sensible? No, we can't. Guess if I did debug, will it give me a button clone or just the button name? Let's see what happens. Actually, let's call this input. It will be more consistent with the rest of the code. Enter. Let's zip that with a button. No. Yeah, there's an iter. Right. Just get it the wrong way around. I should really change this plus to a comma. It was meant to mean something else. Anyway. What do we get? So, sounds like we're almost there. Might be sensitive to order. Also, let's not have the empty ones. So one more thing. Let's make sure the outputs are updated. Undefined. And that looks alright. Did I get the names wrong? No, expected column. Do I need to end on a column? I suppose. Oh. Didn't really want that to be mandatory, but whatever, I guess. Can we make the option? We have a special token for the beginning of the sequence or the end. I'd like to make this semicolon optional at the end. Okay, so I guess I could do if this current token, maybe. How about that? Still no parse? No. Yeah, it parsed. It parsed. We just don't have the proper name. Well, no. Man, what am I doing? A lot of things. Cape. Okay, damn it. Okay, I should have a value 1. Valid. So what did we put in here again? Value underscore 1. Oh, there are no underscores. Okay, sure. There shouldn't be underscores. So let's just get rid of them. And rebuild. What do we get? There we go! Ah, beautiful. Now, is it animating? Right. Yeah, we don't have all the function LEDs yet. Let's fix that. want a G. I want a G. Okay. How are we doing now? Loop. Alright, let's put in a loop then. Also, it should be hidden. Nope. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we go to the loop length mode. That's nice. And we have a properly recorded sequence, which is perfect. Yeah, so pretty much achieved what I wanted to do here. So yeah. So just to recap, we made a preprocessor for mdbook, which finds those snippets of code, puts them into the examples in our crate, which contains the module's core logic. Then we compile this, run it, and the code generates an animation frame every time we call snap, right? So now I should be able to change this code and add some more animation steps. Let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, so we can release the button first. Was that the method? Yes, it was. Okay, we released the loop button, and now we should. Oh yeah, and we need to snap again. Right, and that should be another frame where we stay in the loop mode, and there it is. Right, so we press the button, we release the button, and we are still in the loop function. And the next thing I want to do is I want to press the home plus alternative combo, as we say here. So let's do that. Okay. Actually, no. First we press home, then we press alternative. Then we release both. And at that moment, I want to have the number of pages change. But of course, that's not implemented yet. Okay, we failed somewhere. Let's see. Oh yeah, we didn't implement home, of course. But it's fine, we can have a no implementation for now. And I need to rebuild manually. Unfortunately, that won't catch changes in the core code. Did we grab a change? Okay. Something's wrong. Let's see. Oh yeah, we don't have an LED for alternative. So let's fix that as well. Okay, but why isn't the home button showing up? It's here. Button home. Do we not capture it being pressed? So button pressed, snap, button pressed, snap, buttons released, snap. Looks good to me. Okay. I mean, obviously that's not gonna work in any sensible way because we didn't implement the combos yet. But I would expect the button to light up in the visualization. So what's going on here? Let's see the sequence. Button combo. Relative, yeah, that's wrong. Okay, we did not record the buttons correctly, or we don't print them correctly, maybe. But do we have a plus between the buttons? Yeah, we do. Oh yeah, we fixed the number of buttons. That's no good. What? Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. See, wait. Boom, there. Beautiful. So that's supposed to be the combo to switch the page count. And yeah, that's the next thing we're gonna implement, and we are also gonna go here and restore our little assertion. Let's set it to 2 for now. Yeah, and yeah, we have a failing assert as expected, right? Once I get this to pass, our visualization should be also correct, and yeah, it will be verified by the test that that's embedded in here. Okay, so I guess that's the stream for today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.